Welcome back to the Magic of the Cup podcast. Today I'm joined by internet sensation OlanTekkers and golden boy of Aussie football, Danny De Silva, to talk about his recent captaining of the Macarthur Bulls, his new management and the team he wants to avoid in the Australia Cup. We look back at the round of 16. What a round it was. Sydney United's fairy tale continues, a cracking Adelaide derby, and Charlie Austin winding up the crowd down there in Melbourne. We do a quarterfinal preview, a cheeky quiz, and Anthony Locascio makes the trip from Canberra up to Sydney with the Monaro Panthers. Juicy episode starting right now. What's happening, football fans? Welcome back to the Magic of the Cup, and the games are coming thick and fast. We love this condensed season. Of course, the whole Australia Cup happens before the A-League kicks off, and it feels like you don't know where to look because we got games midweek, games on the weekend. It's how we love it. They're all live and free on 10 Play. Thanks so much for the support so far on the podcast as well. Make sure you're following us and chucking us those 5-star ratings and all that. I've got two special guests here in the studio with me today. The man to my right, OlanTekkers, very recognizable voice. You may have seen him, TikTok extraordinaire, and not only has played in, I guess, cup football here and cup football in the UK, but you do love the lower league stories.
I love it. I love a non-league story. I love it all. For me, it's one of the some of the best games I played in have been cup games. You know what I mean? Before the knee injury and stuff. Obviously, we've got a real footballer here, so now I can take some notes from my man here. You know what I mean? So I'm loving it. It's going to be a great episode.
I tell you what, I do love when we get, as you quoted, a real footballer here because it pegs Olan down to earth just that little bit. Danny De Silva joins us, who of course playing your club football for Macarthur at the moment. Danny, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, pleasure to be here, ready to talk about some stuff, and yeah, let's get going.
That's it, mate. The cup, I mean, you as a player, you've experienced it so many years, but now it's a bit different, right? The whole cup happens before the season, so it's a very new look pre-season for you. Is it a blessing as a player? Because we've always thought this A-League pre-season is a little too long, isn't it?
Yeah, I think for sure, it is super long pre-season, much more longer than any season, pre-season in any of the other leagues. So yeah, to have competitive games definitely gets you going and helps you to get through that long pre-season for sure.
Yeah, brilliant. We're loving the cup here. I think the reaction to the cup's been awesome, not only to this show and those cup-tied segments we're doing where we send people down, but also to the games, because so many goals, so entertaining. The A-League clubs are in pre-season. The NPL clubs are at the end of their season, so it's been really competitive. Olan, you've, of course, played in the FA Cup earlier rounds over there in the UK, but you've also fallen in love with the NPL. Do you see some similarities, and how important is the Australia Cup and it being successful?
I think it's a huge deal. I think this is when I've watched the highlights and stuff. This is the one where I love a non-league feel. So when I see the highlights and I see all the fans all getting involved, all buzzing when it's a penalty shootout, that for me is sometimes what football's all about, man. I've played in some games at FA Cup back in England. Obviously, I'm sporting Hitchin Town, a non-league club, but I made it. I think it was one round before we went on TV. There's a lot of cash involved. Put it that way. I got a nice bonus.
That is brilliant. I mean, we do love the cup, and we know how long it is. Of course, the FA Cup is the longest running trophy in world football over there in the UK. This one's a little bit newer, but it feels like it's building its own culture over here. Danny, when you came up through youth football, it didn't exist yet, but you came up through the youth of the Green Machine, Olympic Kingsway in Perth.
Yeah, that's the one.
If my stats are correct. They haven't made it yet, but huge players have come out of there. Lazaridis, Richie Garcia. We'd love to see them do it. But your first ever goal at senior level was in the cup. Do you remember that?
He doesn't even remember. He doesn't remember. Yeah, that's how you know you had a long career.
I'm actually not too sure. Was it maybe against Melbourne Victory?
Correct.
Yeah, I think it's coming back to me now.
Yeah,
I think it was a big win for us, obviously at Perth Glory, and at that time Melbourne was a massive team, and to win in the cup, it was the first year. I think it was the first year of the cup as well.
It was 2014. Yeah.
So to progress and beating them, was a big moment for the club, and obviously for me.
How old were you at that time?
I would have been 15. Yeah.
What was that? 15 years old.
15 years old. Yeah.
And you've gone and bagged in the cup.
Yeah. I think we ended
up. I think I was outside with the man. You know what I mean? 15. I don't know. We have different upbringings, but tell me about that.
Nah, I think
you're the man. You must have been the guy.
Nah. I remember, to be fair, now it's coming back to me.
Yeah.
I think it was we were down 2-1, I think maybe, and then it was 2-2 at the end of 90 minutes. Obviously went into extra time, and then I wasn't actually starting that game. I came on in the extra time, and then I scored the goal 3-2.
Wow.
And then obviously we scored another one as well. So it was pretty special. Obviously I got the ball and got the players to sign it and stuff, and I was pretty happy to go home as well. So hopefully many more goals in the cup, and I haven't gone on to win it yet, so hopefully we get a good run now with the Bulls, and then see what happens.
Imagine that, rolling into school the next day.
Yeah,
after.
man.
Yeah.
Rolling, you and a guy, man.
It's an interesting one though, because I actually, so I look at you and I compare you in a weird way, right? Bear with me, to Martin Odegaard, Raheem Sterling, these type of players. I know
Okay.
you're thinking, where's Claudes going with this?
Yeah, hit me.
Yeah,
Because-
I'm thinking that as well.
Because you look at Sterling, right?
Yeah.
He's already played 10 full seasons in the Prem, and he's only 27. Martin
Yeah.
Odegaard, captain of club, captain of country, he's only 23. So I look at you, Danny. You captained Macarthur in the first game of this round of 32 recently. You're the youngest person here on the panel, right? You're still only 25 years of age. Do you feel like a bit of a young veteran, or are your best years still ahead of you?
Look, I think like I started at 15. I've been playing now for like 10 years.
That's
So
crazy.
in terms of like a football career, that's already like quite
That's
long.
solid.
So I think in terms of like experience and stuff like that, I probably have quite a bit. And I'm still young. But in terms of like age as a footballer, I think 25 is still young. I think most players typically peak 26, 27. So
I'm past it. Just turned 28, past it. now.
Just out of the zone.
Just out of it. Just missed it.
Nah.
Don't worry. Next year I'll get a contract.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. But yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to the next couple of years, and definitely this season as well. So it's just important to keep working hard, and football's an unpredictable game, so anything can happen. But yeah, for sure, looking forward to it.
Yeah, brilliant. And I tell you what, looking like you got a great side there with Macarthur, fantastic manager as well. Olan, you talk about as a Brit coming here and enjoying the football over here. Know how much you love the NPL system and the cup. Your club, you should know this. Hitchintown, you're wearing the jersey now.
Yeah, I am.
They played in the first ever English FA Cup, 1871. Hitchintown played. Did you know?
I didn't know that.
You
But I know that. I know the club has
Surely
history.
they won as well.
You know what I mean? I know the club has a lot of history, and I take that history. They take it into every single game. You know what I mean? Whenever, I don't know if any of you ever watched the FA Cup round that Hitchin made when they did get on TV, and it's like there's that euphoria about the fans being so close to the pitch, and you can see everyone's faces, and everyone enjoys it. And the reason why FA Cup runs in England are so important is because that money that Hitchin will get will set them up for the next 2 to 3 years. So they'll be able to invest it back into the club, into the youth, whatever. Whereas these big clubs, it doesn't really matter too much. But I don't know over here. I don't know the Australia Cup. I don't know if it affects the club.
Financially.
Yeah, financially. But I know those cup runs really do help the club, those low league clubs like lift a lot higher.
Well, we already do have these teams from the NPL that they just go on runs, and they seem to be. Sydney United's one of them. They didn't make the finals in the NPL in New South Wales, yet they always seem to pop up in the cup. They're still in it now. Let's have a look at the round of 16. Before I do go into it, Olan, there were plenty of moments, and we were just talking about it off air. How many goals? How many storylines? If you had to pick your favourite moment of the round of 16, what was it?
I liked Charlie Austin's celebration. I don't know why. I think it was just he scored the penalty and he just stands there and he's like, and everyone's like booing him or whatever. But I liked it because it feels like he's come over from abroad and he hasn't been like, I'm too big to play in the Australia Cup. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna give it all, and I'm still embracing this. You know what I mean? So it shows me that he's here to play, not like Sturridge. You know, he's here. He's involved in it. He's getting involved in it. He's ready to play. So. I love that. That was my favourite moment for me.
That is an interesting one, Charlie Austin. He has really embraced it, and he had plenty of words to say about their opponents as well. Avondale on the day, he said that they were the better team. We're going to get to that in a sec. The marquee's joining. You've got a marquee manager, right? But how important is it for Australian football to draw the names like Charlie Austin? You've now been 10 years. You've seen them all come and go. How important is it that we get these big names here?
Yeah, I think it's like massive for Australian football to bring big players like that over. I think, the A-League's always competing with the AFL, with the NRL, and like, to be honest, it's really difficult, to bring footballers in, to bring crowds in. And, I think bringing those big players is massive and is key to like promoting the sport and to bringing those big crowds in. And it's just going to make the game bigger. And, I think Australian football is not really recognised so much globally. And I think bringing those names helps it. And then, helps Australian players then to go overseas and, further their careers as well. Yeah. So, definitely I think the first year I was in the A-League, Del Piero was at Sydney FC.
Wow.
I think he's the biggest name that the A-League's had. And, since then, I don't think we've really had anyone big like that. But, obviously, hopefully we can bring some more players and, promote the game.
Well, let's check out what's happened so far. Let's have a look at the round of 16. We'll kick it off with your boys, Macarthur, who started us off. They travelled to Modbury Jets. You guys probably looking the most dominant side in the Australia Cup so far, scoring plenty of goals. You've scored 10 now already. This was a 4-0 win. You weren't in action, but the boys did the job without you. What did you think of the game?
Yeah, look, for sure. I think You know, sometimes people always try and talk about a cup set and things like that. And, you know, we've seen that that's happened in this campaign so far. So, you know, for us, it's just all about doing our job. And, you know, that's what the boys did when they went there. You know, I think the manager was really happy, 10 goals in 2 games and 0 goals against.
Wow.
You know, I think you have to be pretty happy with that at any level as a team. So, yeah, you know, definitely, you know, we have obviously a big test coming up now against Wellington. But, you know, the previous 2 games, we did our job and we went there and we won and we come home, you know, and that's what it's about as well.
There was a nice story there as well. Lockie Rose, of course, scored 2, assisted 1. He went from MPL 2.
Yeah, what a player, yeah.
Skipped MPL 1 and went to the
bang,
A-League.
yeah, straight in
so,
there.
you know, Dwight Yorke now managing, Englishman. Olan, get the boots back on. The dream's not over, mate.
It's not over till it's over, bro.
My phone's there. It's always on tap. You know what I mean? So hey, who knows?
Yeah.
I count as a marquee though. So I don't know.
That big cash
until I marry an Aussie, I'm a marquee. So
yeah.
But I'd love to. Obviously, I like coming to the games.
Yeah.
I think my time's up.
Yeah, I think you got more chance getting Dwight Yorke out on a night out.
Yeah. That'd be a great TikTok. Out with the Macarthur boys. That's actually how I met Mary Apps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You
can say
I won't expose him, but
yeah.
that's how I met. That's how we got him on the poddy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Met him out in the town.
Met a few of them out. Yeah, Lockie Rose is there too.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah, having a good night.
Just exposing your teammates. It's good to see. I'll tell you what, mate. They can have as many nights out as they want if they're scoring goals like this. 4-0 win, double for him. Another great goal for Toure as well. How good has he been?
Oh, he's so good. I love watching him.
He's been on fire so
love
far.
watching him.
Yeah.
He's young as well, no?
I think
fairly
he's
young.
21.
21,
Yeah. The manager really believes in him as well, and I think this season he has a lot of confidence, and you can see that in the way he plays.
Yeah,
so.
I've seen that in the last. I think it was not this game I watched, but I think it was 1 or 2 games ago in the cup, and he just some of the goals that I saw him score, and I was like, wow, like he looks like he's gonna come into his strength this season.
Already has a great history in the cup, already winning it with Adelaide as well. I do want to say a special mention to the Modbury Jets, who you guys you ended their dream, but what a run it was for them. They're a 2nd tier side in South Australia, so they're not even in the MPL, the top tier. They're actually in the 2nd division. And also O'Doherty, who the first goal deflected off the defender O'Doherty. Now his brother has played in the A-League. Yeah. Right. Jordan played for Western Sydney Wanderers, also played for Newcastle Jets. His other brother, Jamie, is a pro FIFA gamer as well.
Oh, wow.
Right, plays in the E-League.
What? So in the E-League? I forget that's a thing now. I really forget that's a thing.
So it really is a football family. Credit to them. It was a great journey. The next game was Bentley Greens against Sydney FC. Yeah. This one finished 2-1. Sydney FC sneaking their way through. Segicic and Gerd both scoring 18 and 20 years old for Sydney FC. So they rotated their squad. Olan, I want to know what you think about that, because we've seen this happen in England with the FA Cup. Managers rotating their squads in the Cup. The big teams rotating the squad. Does that take something away from the Cup?
I think what it does is it riles up the opponent. Right. Because, like, just as a player, when you see, well, say we're playing against whatever team, and they say, well, they're already playing 2 of their first team. Yeah. So we're like, it's not a disrespect, but it's like, okay, well, they think they're going to come over here, roll us over kind of thing, because they haven't really played that many first team players. So the team that's not supposed to win are going to get more riled up, and it's going to be a tough game, because at the end of the day, sometimes it becomes boys against men, and then that team that's supposed to win doesn't win because the other team's a bit more experienced. So that experience, don't underestimate it in the Cup.
I think as well in the Cup, like, it's not so much about the quality of the players. Sometimes it's about who actually wants to win it more. You know, sometimes you see games and it's just a fight. It's not really too much football. You know, especially if you go to a pitch that's not so great, sort of like that. You know, and that's what a lot of NPL teams strive off, and they're very good at doing that. You know, making it fight, and then sometimes the quality comes through, and then. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you think about that. I don't know, a game that just come to mind is that Wigan v Man City game. Famous game back in the day where Wigan absolutely pumped Man City, but because the pitch was suited Wigan, they wanted it a little bit more, and then bang, they've gone on there and they've rolled them. You know what I mean? All Griggs on fire.
Momentum in football is a crazy thing.
It's crazy.
And you saw it even in Bentley Green Sydney FC. So it was 2-0 Sydney. The young lads did actually pop up and score for Stevie Corica, but Riak got one back with 5 minutes to go. And that last 5 minutes, doesn't matter who's playing. You can have a bunch of professional footballers against the pub team, but if you're up by 1 with 5 minutes to go, you're parking. You're parking.
You're sitting parking that bus.
And everyone starts to sweat. But Sydney held on. They go through. They're looking to try and equal Adelaide as record winners of this trophy. But Sydney United against Western United, this was probably the story of the round. Went all the way to penalties, but even before that, Western United, they hit the woodwork 3 times. How hard is it as an
Insane.
A-League side going to a synthetic pitch, which you're not used to?
Yeah, that's right. Like definitely, you know, I think hitting the woodwork anytime is frustrating. You know, like an inch to the left, it's in; an inch to the right, it's in. Yeah. And 3 times is even worse, you know. So, but yeah, you know, credit to Sydney, they done well, and credit to the goalkeeper as well. I think he was unbelievable. Like he was, for me, man of the match. But yeah, you know, definitely frustrating to lose for Western United, and after the season they had last year as well, even more so. Yeah, you know. So yeah,
brilliant from the goalkeeper Nizic. He's a giant man, takes up most of the goals. I think he's about 6'6", big Nizic in goals for Sydney United. Made some great saves in the shootout as well, and a great penalty from Gonzalez to win it. Sydney United love beating a black and green side. If Sassuolo from Italy, for those Italian fans, we're playing here, they'd be sweating right now because even in the round before that, they beat Monaro Panthers, another historic side. And we sent down local comedian Anthony Locascio, huge football fan. He was cup tied with the Monaro Panthers.
Thank you very much, Claudes. Yes, I am Anthony Locascio, and we are here in Queanbeyan at the home of the Monaro Panthers. We are previewing their massive round 32 of the Australia Cup clash tonight in West Sydney against none other than the champions, Sydney United. I am cup tied with the Monaro Panthers.
Yeah, you better.
Queanbeyan's a very multicultural town, but built on the back of a very strong Italian community here in Queanbeyan.
Is incredibly important for this region and has been since 1967. Such a rich history over the last 55 years.
From when my father and everyone else's father were here from the start, you know, we're still here today and pushing forward.
I am absolutely privileged to be standing here with Mario and Mirko, who are 2 of the original players from the very first Inter Monaro team.
Every week, every night, when we got nothing to do into the fire, why don't we build a team? We come and have a meeting with the club. The club say we can't afford it. You know, if you want to apply, we can't give you any money. And then we start asking money around, and then we build a team.
As a former player, the current sponsor of the club, and also your father played in the very first Inter Monaro team. Johnny, tell me what this club means to you.
Well, it's deep in our family, so that historical context makes moments like this very special.
Tonight's exciting. It's exciting that we can go up there and play City United. They are a great club. We've had some big matches with them back in the late 70s and probably early 80s, and yet you know, we're there tonight and playing there. The history repeats itself.
I'm here rocking around on the supporters bus for the Monaro Panthers. What's your family history with this club?
Yeah, look, my father and all my uncles, they're foundation members of the old Marco Polo, the old Inter Monaro. You know, there's a lot of guys on this club that they're exactly the same position where it's all part of the family. Look, I was going to club since I was 5 years old. Small club from, a small town, a small community, so we're very proud of it.
As a child, my father took me to watch Monaro as a 5-year-old, and then played soccer with them as a junior and then as a senior. So now as a supporter.
And I feel very passionate. I grew up this way. I want our kids to have this club, and I want their kids to have the club. We just want it to keep going. It's such a good club. It's so family orientated. I mean, we know the roots because these were our fathers, our kids' grandfathers, who are still with us, who still have all the good stories.
The energy around the people that are coming off the bus is electric. You guys must be so excited to finally be here in Sydney. Are you pumped?
Absolutely, Anthony, mate. We're going to win this. We're going to win this, bring the cup back to Canberra. That's the only thing we're worried about, bringing it back to Canberra.
Oh, look, I think we know that they've got a lot of quality. A number of ex-A-League players, they're well organised, well coached. So, and I think probably more than that, they've got a rich history and culture, and there's a lot of expectations on these players. And so we're under no illusions that we know that we're going to be going in as underdogs, but at the same time, we're also embracing that and taking that on board and doing what we can to make sure that we make a good contest of it.
I wouldn't call them underdogs. They're coming third in their comp in Canberra. Obviously they're away from home, but
as you see everywhere in the world, a cup tie, anything can happen.
Well, as the game's wrapping up here, it's not the result the Monaro Panthers would have wanted, but it's away games like today that bring the fan base together. I've been Anthony Locascio, cup tied with the Monaro Panthers. Make sure you catch Magic of the Cup on YouTube, Facebook, 10Play, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Awesome feature there from Anthony Locascio. Thanks so much for getting down. And you know what? That's what we love about the Cup. They did lose 3-0 on the day, but the passion to send all your supporters up from Canberra all the way to Sydney to enjoy the game. They are a huge club and they'll be back here in no time for sure. Sydney United, though, they march on and they've got an NPL opposition coming up as well. Olan, you fancy them?
Yeah, well, all I've got to say is I've played against Sydney United before, and striker Patrick, what'd you say his last name? Tell me. It was a hard day at the office.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was a hard day. One of those, you know, when you're centre back and you know you've been in a battle. It was one of those ones. So if he's starting for them, I'm not sure if he's coming back from injury because I know he got injured. Yeah. If he plays for them, I know they've definitely got a chance of winning. You know, for sure.
Very good player. He's got a great record, actually, as well. Patrick Antelmi's the only non-A-League player to win the Golden Boot in an edition of the Australia Cup.
Wow.
So,
that's
so
wild. Yeah, he's a bagsman, as we say in the UK. He's a bagsman.
Yeah, he's a bagsman. There you go.
He's a bagsman. Put him in front of goal, he score.
Brilliant there. Another great game. Peninsula Power at home to Green Gully. Peninsula, another one. They're skating through playing NPL opposition. They've managed to dodge A-League teams, and they will also dodge them in the quarterfinal. They managed to win this game 2-1. It didn't look like that would be the case. The goalkeeper looking like Peter Cech with the headgear. Philip Zabax, he was playing like Peter Cech as well. Some brilliant saves to deny Josh Hope a few times. Josh Hope eventually did score. Green Gully went up 1-0. But this is what I love about suburban grounds, right? The lighting laid on in this game, Olan. From the 75th minute on, sun goes down. Didn't look like the lights came on, and the goalkeeper had a stinker. They scored off a corner and another thumble as well. Danny, how hard is it when you're used to the glitz and the glam, the big stadiums? How hard is it to go play at these little suburban grounds?
Oh, yeah, look, especially if the lights aren't coming on, mate.
They may have been on. It doesn't look like
the car lights on and they just...
park the cars around the pitch, Nah, yeah, look, definitely, you know, it's obviously a different feel, but like Olan said as well, it's also a nice feel, you know, when you get people around the pitch, so close to the pitch, you know, you can hear the booing, the heckling, you know, it actually sometimes riles you up as a player in a good way as well, you know, and like it makes you want to prove them wrong sort of thing and play a bit harder, but you know, obviously playing in stadiums and then playing there is definitely a different feel, but I think as a player, you just have to go there and do your job and, you know, at the end of the day, try get the win and progress in the cup,
And I do love that about the Australia Cup. They have that rule that if a member federation side draws an A-League side, it has to be at the member federation's home ground.
Oh, really? That's a sick rule.
Yeah.
Love
so
that.
Great for local football as well to get everyone down to those games. And you can put 1,000 people, but it feels like a packed house.
Yeah, exactly.
It's awesome. We were spoilt to 4 games all at the same time on the last match day. Oakley Cannons. Now, 3 of these went to extra time. You could dare say that the least entertaining, and it still was a great game, but the least entertaining was the All A-League affair. It was actually the ones with the NPL clubs which produced all the goals. Oakley Cannons took on Brisbane City, finished 3-3, went to extra time. Oakley winning it 5-3. Hirayama, special mention to him. He popped up yet again for Brisbane City to send them to extra time, but in the end, Oakley too good. This game almost broke the Australia Cup record.
What?
So most goals in a single game. So at the moment, the record is 9. They were just off, and there were a few close calls as well, a few good saves and a few close chances. Otherwise, that would have broken the record, but plenty of goals. It's what we love to see. Unlucky Brisbane City, they had to head back home. Matt Smith coaching them as well. They got a few ex-A-League players. Then Melbourne City crashed out.
Saw that one.
The biggest club, you'd say, at the moment in Australia, crashed out at home to the Wellington Phoenix. Barbarouses, we predicted that he would score against them, and he did. Former teammate of yours as well, I believe, at Sydney FC. What are you making of the Wellington Phoenix? It feels like a resurgence there.
Yeah, look, I think, you know, they've been good for the past, you know, few seasons, and, you know, they've stuck to what they're good at, and they're very good at sitting in and then breaking on the counter. You know, obviously Barbarouses adds that bit of speed as well, you know, up top, and they already have like very fast strikers. So, you know, definitely, you know, obviously we're going to face them next. So, you know, looking forward to that. But, you know, I think we have good quality, and I think it will be a really good game, to be fair.
Also very tough for Wellington. They have to play their Australia Cup matches all in Australia as well. So tough for them, but they're used to that over the last few years. Ben Wayne scored again for them. He's been in great form, scored 2 in the first game. And good to see Matt Leckie score a consolation for Melbourne City. All Socceroos fans will be happy to see that. Then this was probably the game of the round. I know, Olan, you wanted to get down to this one. Adelaide City against Adelaide United. It finished 1-1 after normal time, 2-2 after extra time. And United edged them then.
The game, I remember watching the highlights, and it just looked packed. It just looked like they were going at it. And there was a lot of players that had been at Adelaide City that were released by Adelaide United. So it was like that rivalry there. I think even the player that scored had been released before. So he was
Zach Waters.
Yeah, so he'd been released, and what a moment that must have been for him. So I'm like, I love that kind of stuff.
You got a point to prove, don't you?
Yeah, definitely got a point. I might get signed next season.
It's a brilliant finish. Tell you what, if the net wasn't there, that ball wouldn't have stopped.
He struck it well, lefty as well. He struck it so well.
Struck it very well. And Matt Dorber as well equalised again in extra time. It was almost the fairy tale they needed. Joe Gauchi, though, was too good in the shootout, the goalkeeper. Take away that Sydney United game. It does go that when an NPL side gets the penalties, it seems like the A-League opposition, they tend to hold their nerve a little bit more, and the goalkeepers seem to be another level. Do you find that as an A-League team, if you go to Pens, are you backing yourself against a member-fed side?
I think so. You have to go with the mentality to back yourself. I think if you go with the mentality of anything else, then you're going to put yourself in a bit of a hole.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's not really the team anymore. It's the individual, you know, and how you handle that pressure. You know, especially the goalkeeper as well. So. And I know plenty of goalkeepers, they study the players in case it goes to penalty, which way, left, dive, right, and all that stuff is really important, those small details. So, like a penalty, anything can happen. I think it's just all about who can hold their nerve the most and, put it in the back of the net.
Well, in that sense, it's probably easier to study the A-League players. Good luck getting some NPL footage.
Good luck.
Take a trip, eh?
Exactly. Finding that.
That was awesome dream run, because the last time Adelaide City played Adelaide United was in a friendly match, finished 6-0 Adelaide United. So what an improvement this was to take them all the way to penalties. Credit to Adelaide City, a side which has produced the Vidmar brothers, John Aloisi, so many top players. We'll see them back here. And the last game, which was also on at the same time, also went to pens. It was Avondale taking on Brisbane Roar. And this was the game that produced that moment, the Charlie Austin giving it to the crowd. But he was great after the game. He said, look, the other team, they were better than us. They deserved it. It was terrible weather. Defender went down, slipped down, allowed for the first goal to go in, but 119th minute equaliser.
That is...
it's got to hurt.
Brilliant game that one was. Macklin, freak as well, played like a freak in the shootout. The goalkeeper for Brisbane Roar, saving 2 pens, and we know that Showboat really stole the headlines, but brilliant from Brisbane Roar. They march on, and we look forward to the quarterfinals. This is now business end. Now, it kicks off, because we've got 3 games on Wednesday, but now standing on its own on a Sunday, we've got Peninsula Power taking on Sydney United. It's MPL against MPL, meaning we're guaranteed one in the semi-finals. Who you fancying here?
I'm going to back... Sydney United.
Have to?
I think I'm just going to stay with my Sydney
Well,
squad.
your boys, who you do love Spirit.
I love Spirit.
They actually fell at this hurdle. They flew up to Peninsula Power. Maybe got a bit carried away with the party life up in Queensland. I don't know.
I'm gonna blame that one on Perko, because they flew up the same day.
As the game.
That's a shambles, Perko. I'm sorry if you listen to this, but they flew up because obviously one of our best mates plays there. They flew up, played the same day. I'm not sure how much time they had between getting off the plane and playing. So I think that obviously tied into them.
Yeah, for sure. Travel takes it out of you, definitely. Yeah. Especially on the same day.
Yeah, on the same day. It's hard.
What did your boys do when you went to play Modbury? You went
the day before.
Right. Did you get to stay a night after the game?
So normally it's 2 nights. So
brilliant.
Day before, then the day after the game, you stay and then fly back in the morning.
Yeah,
hit the town.
That's the pro life.
That's
the pro life. You know what I mean? You got that luxury. That's the pro life.
They've got a chef at training.
They got all that. That's the pro life. It's nice, man.
It will be good. Let's hope the Sydney United lads, they've played 2 home games before this one. Let's hope they don't get carried away, go up on a Saturday and hit the town. It's a beautiful part of town, Peninsula as well, between Gold Coast and Brisbane. So keep the lads in. Curfew for those. I know a few of those Sydney United lads.
The thing is as well, go win the game, then have a big night. You know what I mean?
That's the best.
Well, it's a 3 p.m. kickoff as well. So if you get a result, you hit the town after.
Perfect time.
Would be good to see. That's going to be a great game. 2 MPL oppositions fighting each other. And then we've got your boys, Macarthur, taking on Wellington Phoenix. Danny, any news that you can tell us about you? Will you be featuring in that game? Or?
Yeah, look, I'll be available for the game for sure. You know, hopefully, touch wood, everything goes good in training and everything. But definitely looking forward to for the occasion and for the test. You know, to play, especially in Sydney as well, our first game back in the stadium. I think everyone's really looking forward to it, and we've been working really hard in the pre-season, and now we're going to obviously ramp it up a bit to prepare for this game. And we want to try and win and get to the final, and this is the next hurdle, and we just got to conquer it.
Well, new club, right? And so much talk about Macarthur, big name signings, huge manager. Is there a little bit of pressure to get that first trophy? Because City obviously came in and they did it, but Western United did it so quickly now, winning the A-League Championship. Is there a bit of pressure on the club to just get that first silverware? Is this a good opportunity to do that?
Oh, look, I don't think it's so much about the pressure. I think everybody in the club, and especially the manager coming in, just really instilling that winning mentality.
Right.
And I think, obviously, we are a new club, but this is our third season now, so we want to be a competitive club and to be able to compete for the titles, for the cup, for the league, for the grand final, for all those things, and not just be a team that's just makes up the 12, So, I think definitely we're going into it and we just want to be positive and, play our game and, whatever happens, that's part of football. But, we're definitely positive and trying to win it.
Well, if I might say as a neutral, you are, in my opinion, the most exciting team going into the A-League this season because so many good young players, and we spoke about a few of them before, but also Danny Squared. Good to see Danny Arzani back. How's your link-up been with him?
Yeah, good. It's good to obviously see him back. Obviously he had a hard time in Europe with his injuries and things like that. But, obviously it's good to see him back. And, similar to me, I was in Europe. I got injured, had to come back as well. So, definitely.
I saw that. I saw a picture of you and one of my favourite players ever. Have you seen this?
Ashley Cole.
Ashley Cole.
My
Twitter name used to be Daniel Ashley Cole.
Really?
That's how much I used to love Ashley Cole.
I
used to watch everything. Yeah, what was it like?
When I was at Rome, it was the best, and I couldn't speak any Italian there as well, and obviously he could speak English, so I would sit with him and chat with him and stuff like that. But I was young then, and to me it was just like, it was mad, and Toddy was there, De Rossi was still there, so it was an amazing experience, and obviously hopefully back in the further of my career I can go back there. So but obviously good to have Arzani back, and I play on the left and he plays on the left, so we're starting to gel and get those links and stuff like that the more we work. And I think we have a very exciting attack force this season, with bringing in himself and striker and the way that we play. I think it will be an exciting team to watch this year.
Danger. It's going to be pure danger out there in Seatown, mate. If anyone's living in the Macarthur region, get down to Campbelltown Stadium, see what they do to this Wellington Phoenix side. That's going to be an awesome clash. Then we have another all A-League clash as well. Adelaide United taking on Brisbane Roar. Both these two teams had to play 120 minutes plus penalties against NPL sides to get here. So it'll be an interesting one. Olan, I know you love focusing in on the NPL side. So, Danny, you said to me before off air, in the A-League, there's not that many teams and you play everyone so many times, so you really get to know everyone. Adelaide United, Brisbane Roar, probably two different tales in the Cup. Adelaide's so successful, Brisbane not so much. Who are you fancying here?
Yeah, is it in Adelaide or is it
It's in Adelaide, yeah.
Yeah, look, to be honest, I think Adelaide away is one of the hardest fixtures.
Really?
In terms of the travel and in terms of when you play in that stadium, it can be 2,000-3,000 people, but feels like 10 because the way the stadium is set is so close to the field. I think to be honest, gives them an edge. I've played 2 finals in that stadium and lost both times.
Oh, really?
So I hope they don't win.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to face them again. But look, I'll probably back Adelaide for that game. But as well, Brisbane have had a good run and they have some great signings as well. So maybe they could pull off a win as well.
Yeah, brilliant. That'll be a great game to watch. The last one that wraps up the round is Oakley Cannons, who narrowly got through. They're taking on Sydney FC. So a big game for them. Oakley have made the quarterfinals before, but they've never made it past this stage. Tough ask against Sydney FC, isn't it, Olan?
Yeah, it is. It just depends what quality will shine through. Will that quality of Sydney FC? They're probably still going to play the young guns and give them a chance, right?
Yeah, well, that's the big thing. Do you change your approach when you get to quarterfinals?
Do you change your approach because you're like, well, it's the money end. You know what I mean? Now we've got to bring in the big guns. You know what I mean? So, but it'll be interesting to see what they do because then it will decide what Oakley do. Oakley are going to have a different mindset if they're playing against 18, 19-year-olds because I've played against that young side that are technically supposed to be better than you, like the Sydney FCs and stuff like that. And our mindset is we're going to go out there and smash them.
They're still young.
They're boys. You know what I mean? Because they're not going to want the physical battles. Do they change it? That'll be an interesting thing to see what they do. But I think I'm going to back the NPL.
Yeah? You're going to back an upset here?
Yeah, I'm going to back an upset here.
If history suggests anything, most NPL clubs get the upset in the round of 16 or the 32. Quarterfinal upsets have been very, very rare to come by, but it would be great to see. We're guaranteed one NPL side in the semi-final, but if Oakley was to win, we could potentially be on our track to have the first ever NPL team in the final. Haven't had one ever in the Australia Cup, so that would be good. Cracking games coming our way, and then we're back again for the magic of the Cup because the semi-finals roll on just 2 weeks after that. But I want to talk a little bit about this cup and the FA Cup. You've played in the FA Cup, Ola, and Danny, you've played many times in the Australia Cup. I've got a bit of quiz for you guys. I brought the pen and paper out here today, which I haven't done. We've had a few quizzes. We've had a few quizzes on the podcast.
If you ask me anything about the FA Cup, I'm not getting it.
I know a little bit.
So for you, some of these answers, I will just say, I don't want to give too much away, but I will say that not all is as straightforward as it seems. Okay? That's all I'm going to say.
All right, good. I know. Reverse psychology.
But I want to ask you guys whether I'm going to ask you which one of these two competitions holds this record, the Australia Cup or the English FA Cup.
Oh,
of course, the English FA Cup been around a lot longer.
Yes.
The first question, which tournament has had more clubs participate in a single season? So we know a lot of clubs play in the Australia Cup, a lot of clubs play in the FA Cup. We're talking hundreds of clubs. Which one has had more clubs, though?
See, I feel like it's a straightforward answer, but it could be a trick question.
Australia's got so many clubs. Do you know what I'm saying?
And to be honest, I don't know when it starts. What is it, around 100?
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking England, but then I'm like, there's so many clubs. Australia's a bit.
Well, I want you to write your answers. Write your answers for the first one. Cover the answers as well, because I know Olan, he likes to peek over there. Just cover it. And when you're confident, let me know what you've gone for. So I think you've both written them. Olan, what did you put down?
Yeah. Australia.
Oz Cup.
I
Danny,
put Australia as well.
Oz Cup. I thought that would be a trick question. It is the Australian
Cup. Yes,
Listen to this. So the most ever to play in an English FA Cup, 763 clubs.
Wow.
The Australia Cup in 2018 had 781.
Wow.
So what? Like, how many rounds is that before?
Yeah.
Like,
So
what round?
I
don't even understand.
That's the thing.
So many
Do you
teams,
know why I know this? Because I've
you're
played.
in the final 8, Danny. That's huge.
I've
mate.
played such low of a level in the UK, so I know. I'm like, we're starting the season. They're like, FA Cup. I'm like, bro, the final's not for like 7 months. So I already know how far back we start in the UK. You know what I mean? We start like, I think the FA Cup like the qualifying rounds is like 1 month into the season starting.
But the Premier League don't even start
the
thinking
Premier League
about
not
it.
even thinking about it until like January. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, nah, maybe Australia.
Yeah. That's
There's a lot of clubs. Correct. It is the Australia Cup. Question 2. Only one club in either of these competitions has won it 3 years in a row. Okay. Did that happen in the Australia Cup or did that happen in the FA Cup?
3 years in a row.
3 years in a row. We know about the Sydney FC dominance. We know about the Adelaide dominance. We know about Arsenal's dominance over there. There's been a few good eras. Arsenal, of course, the most successful club in England. But have they done it 3 in a row, though?
I feel like
Danny wrote his answer down right away.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
He knows a bit more than me.
Danny knows something.
I feel like I know. I'll be surprised if I'm wrong.
Okay, go on.
I'm pretty sure it's the FA Cup.
The FA Cup? Olan, what did you put?
I've gone Australia because I feel like I would know 3 times in a row. Like I would know this.
But I can't think that anyone in the Australia Cup.
Well, Danny should know this because he's been playing for
exactly.
I hope it's the FA Cup then.
You are correct. It is the FA Cup. So Adelaide United have done the
Twice.
double, but they haven't gone 3 in a row.
Because that was the 2 years they beat me. But that's how I know.
So he's
I'm
got inside
salty
information.
about it.
Brilliant.
Who is it?
Blackburn.
Blackburn Rovers.
In the 80s.
Alan Shearer.
Before your time. Before your time. Blackburn in the 80s went 3 in a row. They're the only side to ever do it. So you've got the leg up here. You're almost going to win it. This is a tough
So
one.
it's 2-1 to him.
It's 2-1 to him.
Yeah, it's a decider.
Youngest player to score in a final. Is that in the FA Cup or in the Australia Cup? He was 18 years old and 19 days.
In a final.
In a final.
It's set like from quarterfinal.
No, in
the final.
In the final. In the grand final.
We produce some of the best talent in the UK. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm saying.
Is he just throwing him off? I don't know.
I don't know.
What have you put?
I put England.
You put the FA Cup in
FA
England,
Cup,
Danny?
for sure.
I'll put the Aussie Cup.
You put Australia?
Just to be different.
It is England.
I knew it. I told you. Who was it?
Norman Whiteside, Manchester United. He ended up going on to play over 200 games for United, 18 years old and 19 days. But the youngest here is your teammate, Alassane Toure.
Oh, yeah?
He was just turned 19 when he scored in the final for Adelaide United.
Wow.
So
I was backing my boy. I'm my teammate.
Yeah.
We'll call it a draw because I got no more match balls to give out. Okay, I've been giving them. I've been giving them all out in the early episodes, but that one didn't throw you guys off. So many clubs do take part in the Oz Cup. 781 we had this year. We had 742.
Wow.
Despite COVID and all the rest,
that's
still that many clubs
that's a lot of
joined the cup, and it is growing every single year. So let's see how big this thing can get. Imagine we get 1,000 clubs probably one day playing.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Wouldn't surprise me. That's why it is the greatest cup competition of any sport here in Australia, and it needs to be celebrated. It's quarterfinal time, guys. Make sure you are tuning into these games on 10 Play or wherever you're watching them. Let's have another look at these fixtures. You got Peninsula Power taking on Sydney United to kick it off. Macarthur and Danny De Silva in action against Wellington. Adelaide United at home to Brisbane Roar, and the Oakley Cannons host Sydney FC, hoping to try and bring up the next cup set. There's only ever been 10. Wow. Only 10 times. Sydney United were the 10th team to beat A-League opposition. Favourite game you're looking forward to, besides your own?
Yeah, look, probably the NPL game.
The NPL
I think,
clash.
probably is going to produce some nice goals, and it's probably going to be a good turnout as well. And hopefully they can have a team in the semi-final. Yeah, so it will be great.
Would be a record for both those clubs, Peninsula or Sydney United. Either way, we're going to have a fairy tale story. Olan, game you're looking forward to?
Obviously, I'm going to go Sydney United, but then obviously I'm going to go Macarthur as well. So
yeah,
those are two games.
To see Danny in action.
Those are two games.
Any chance of seeing Olan down at Campbelltown Stadium?
Not if you don't pay me.
Showing his Western Sydney Wanderer loyalty there.
Gotta be the
Showing
Western
his Wanderer loyalty there. The black and red nowhere to be seen this season, Olan, but hopefully better luck for your Wanderers next year. Guys, that's probably about all we have time for. Make sure, as I said, watch those games on 10 Play. Make sure you're following all the Australia Cup socials. But more importantly than all that, if you are living anywhere near the Peninsula Power, Macarthur, Adelaide or Oakley home game, get down to these games because this is real football. It is an awesome atmosphere and it will get only better as we get closer to the final. Olan, I'm sure we'll see you around.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks so much for joining us here today.
Definitely, man. Again, just touch on what you said, Claudes, man. Support your local club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's where everything starts from. Like, even Danny's career, like, all starts from local football, getting down there, supporting those youngsters and whoever's playing and seeing them go on to do great things. So go support your local club for sure.
Brilliant. Couldn't have said it any better myself. Danny De Silva, a man who, no stranger to the spotlight. Now we've seen you 10 years dominating it, and then hopefully another 10 strong years for you. Hopefully some silverware as well. Best of luck for the quarterfinal and the whole season coming up.
Yeah, thanks. Look, obviously, like we said, really looking forward to the game and going as far as we can, hopefully to the final. And yeah, like you said, and Olan said, it would be great to have the support come out, support us as a club and, also your local team as well. We need to continue to improve the sport and continue to get lots of people around it, like we said before, competing with the AFL, the NRL. So we hope that we can build the football up and bring that culture to Australia again. So yeah.
Absolutely love it. Football needs to stick together, whether you're supporting the NPL clubs or the A-League clubs. Guys, enjoy all the football coming your way. Make sure to follow all the socials and check out that Cup Tide segment with Anthony Locascio. It's one you don't want to miss. We'll see you guys next time on the Magic of the Cup.